Alright, what's going on, people? We are back. OG is here. A lot of people are sucked into the next gen versus current gen war, but this video should be the video to end it once and for all. I'm going to bring all the facts, show all the details, okay? Now, when 2K drops so much information, you'll get lost in a whole bunch of it, but you got to get to the nitty gritty of the details. No sound on this, just straight jumping into it, right? So first, we're going to look at this. The My Player Builder different will be told. I don't know. He messed up on his tweet. Totally different was designed from the scratch to create more diversity. So they're talking about NBA 2K21 next gen. Okay, that builder was scratched, recreated. They probably tuned some stuff in and balanced it out because everybody was having too much OP stats. Correct? Right or wrong? Right. So when we go to this current gen, and I always say this, like this guy, they say who's on this account, like I said, I don't really trust anything on the internet. I always look at everybody with that balance until I can see a lot of solid detail. But if he's getting all these leaks, how? You know what I mean? But hey, but he said current gen will have pie charts and also some new ones were added. None of these facts get denied. He'd be right about most of this. He'd be right about all the stuff. That's right. With some new ones added a little bit in there to add a little bit more different builds. You guys have to understand they're using one structure. This is where everybody's getting lost. This is where OG comes in and cleans it up. Because everyone's getting lost. They're not realizing 2K is using one structure for two games. One structure for two games. There will be differences in these two games. We can already tell the build systems are different. Okay, yes, the dribble moves and the mechanics and the way the structure is built for the game, how we're going to play, how it's going to feel, that will be similar. But we have to understand the next gen version is going to have to be higher in how they build it, construct it, the quality, how much next gen's capacity can hold. You know what I'm saying? So let's hold that in there too now, right? Let's see another thing that we see right here. VC transfers from current gen to next gen. Now, why would they do that if they don't have it to where they feel like people should be going to next gen? So you got to look at things like this. Why are they making this now? Why did Mike Wayne say out on a tweet in his own words that don't worry, you won't have to worry about when you're getting ready to switch over to next gen because the games are very similar, more than last year. If you played NBA 2K21 next gen this year and then you went on current gen, and then you went on next gen, two different games. Feels completely different. This is why that switch was there. Now, if both games is similar, the only thing that can compete between the two is the scenery, the build systems, the extra things that's added. That's the only thing that can compete. All right? And of course, there's going to be more on the next gen version. That's just a given. They're not going to have it to where it's equal on both ends. And they have never even said that out their mouths. But it should be common sense to understand that. Right? Because there was more on this one. People just didn't like the new switch. But let's get to some more detail, right? Let's touch on this screenshot right here. Remove badges in NBA 2K22. Heat Seeker, Highlight Film, Deep Threes, Hot Shot, Ice in My Veins, Tireless Shooter. All right, you see all the badges. Let's go to this next screen. All the badges, people. So anti-freeze is gone, right? We see that anti-freeze is gone, okay? We see Ice in My Veins is gone. Tireless Shooter is gone. So now we know Tireless Shooter is just going to based off of your stamina. Do you guys understand that? This badge would have been valuable. You have to understand this real quick. Let me move this. You guys have to understand this. All right? Do you understand how valuable this badge was? But the fact that being tired wasn't really too much of a key thing. This is the patch to shooting that you guys have to start waking up and realizing. Now, having a high shot and taking high quality shots is going to be way more key, because now if you're tired, you understand certain badges is not going to save you anymore because they're already removing this tireless shooter out of the game. Now, what's the tireless shooter basically going to be? Your stamina. So now your stamina can affect how much that shot is coming off, you know? They're getting more realistic, people. They take Ice in My Veins away. They took all that stuff. So we know all these badges that they're taking away is naturally going to just be happening in the background. right? We're not going to have a OP heat seeker to where somebody can go drive, dunk the ball, and his takeover goes up. But we're still going to have it to where you can do certain plays to where your takeover is going to go up. All right, we understand this. This is how the game works. Another key I want to jump on that people got to understand this. If they make guard 6 foot height, right? That's the primary position. And height will matter this year in contesting shots. You guys gotta understand, they buffed the defense. Offense is going to be more harder. We're gonna get down to the next tweet where we talk about shooting. But yes, they're going to make shooting harder this year. I feel like that. If they go back on their word, they're just gonna do the same repeated process cycle that 2K does. I wouldn't be mad at that because then we're all just gonna be able to cash out. So I'm in that balance. But I'm gonna hold them to what they're saying. I'm gonna hold them to their words, right? So now height truly matters now, which I believe it does because they had to buff the defense and do something. Now taller players contesting and taller players getting shots over smaller players is going to matter. You see how they balance that out now? So smaller players on defense are going to be liabilities. They're balancing out the game to more realistic basketball play. When you want to think about how it's maybe going to be, maybe like a 17 mixture, but more deeper now. It's more analyzed now because we have all these new badges, all these different strengths, weaknesses. But we don't see the game going backwards more towards arcadey, making weird badge names and they throwing park cards in there and other weird. No, we see them sharpening things up, trying to look more like the NBA. Even trying to implement these new badges. Right? All right, I want to explain that tweet on Mike Wayne too about the green window. If you cut it, the make window into 4 pieces, right? Equal pieces, right? You see how it's up there right there? 4 squares up there, right? Just look at the excellent as the middle point of the 4 squares. The middle point, look out the outer windows as the top, okay? Just look at it as the top. Then once you go way over the top, then you're getting that penalty. You understand? Once you're too close to the top, you still get that penalty. And then you see where he says once you go outside of the window, right? You get that guaranteed miss, okay? I can't show you the points, but you can see where the points are at the corner. Just look at it from top to bottom, right? When you go to all the way to outside of the top, you get that guaranteed miss. When you right in the middle, that's that excellent. Now you have to imagine your player right in the middle as that cup, like right when you about to release your shot. That muscle memory. You got to get that middle, just like if it was a whack-a-mole. You got to get that timing on point. It's very simple like that. And then, let's say if you're right in the middle between the top and the bottom, that's when you get the very earlies, you know, the slightly lates, which you can still potentially green depending on how many badges you have. Because you got to remember, this game plays off a mathematic system, and your badges can increase your green window, you know? So sometimes just think of it as 2K bailing you out, giving you a green because you have all the shooting badges. And it's not really bailing you out. You get that reward of having those shooting badges. You don't get the extra penalty for being in those areas. So that's how you kind of have to look at the window. So now, here's my biggest thing I want to explain to people. They're going hard on their new systems. You guys got to get this. There's like this little delusion that's going around where people think current gen is going to keep surviving in some way, shape, or form. 2K is going to have to put way more into their next gen version so people can get onto this new wave, this new shit, because we're on a new console. What they just going to say, all right, you know what, since current gen is just doing so much better, they will be forced to have to make current gen lack certain things. You know what I'm saying? They would have to be forced to make current gen lack certain. Things. I want to show you one more thing right here. If we look at these shooting badges, right? You guys already listen. This is how I want to show you. This is my last thing to close it up. To show you guys, 2K is playing under one structure. If we look at the badges that remains in the game, we still have Sniper. What Sniper? NBA 2K21 Next Gen. That was an NBA 2K21 Next Gen badge. So if that badge is still in the game, that lets you know they're going with the Next Gen side, that version. They're pushing that. They could have pushed the current version and just, you know what, leave flexible release and do certain things like that, but they didn't do that. We still have certain badges in the game, rhythm shooters, certain badges that are still from Next Gen. And guess what? If current gen is getting the same badges, you have to understand, you guys are just going to be playing NBA 2K21 Next Gen. That's it, just the upgrade version. and it's the current gen version, and you get the boat, and you get all that extra stuff. But you're going to be playing a model that was similar to next gen. Look at this. Flexible release is gone. You know, ice in my veins, steady shooter's gone, Tyler shooter's gone, pump fake maestro's gone, range extender's not even a badge. You see what I'm saying? The only deep fade, the only badge you see is hot zone hunter. You don't see deep fades. Deep fades is not even a badge. Fade ace is the new badge now. And do you understand now, people, how we're all going under one structure? You think the only thing that's going to separate is people being on the different consoles, but it's really going to feel very similar to each other. We're going to have the same little DLC thing. Think of it as like people playing Fortnite or Call of Duty, you just on the lower version of it. Other people on the next gen, a little bit more clear graphics, probably some little bit extras. You know, that's it. So I hope you guys understand this video. There doesn't need to be a war. We understand what structure they're going on. This new IRL basketball system, adding in these new badges, making offense more skill, prioritizing to real life plays, adding these step back badges, Luka stuff. They want the game to be more realistic and less animation. You got to understand, to even make a basketball game is pretty hard. To make it perfect, to like real life basketball, that is truly hard. I don't even think that could happen. So you got to understand the company's always going to have trouble. They're always going to be switching things, bringing things back. But you got to see what they're really prioritizing to and where they're going with. And we can see they're going with next gen. Y'all are getting the same badges from next gen on current. So you're basically playing next gen. So stop. People's trying to do this war thing. Oh, no, certain people just can't get the consoles, and I understand that. But you have to realize you're getting badges from next gen. So you're going to be playing a game that's very similar to next gen. And you think it's going to be arcadey because it's on current gen? No, they're trying to model it after. They said, don't worry, when you transfer over, you'll be fine because the moves are the same. We're going to end it off at there. Make sure y'all stay in good vibes. Remember, all the gems, all the facts is here. We see what's happening now.